welcome back to Everyday Struggle, Nadeska Akademiks, and Wayno here. You always know it's Monday because these two are arguing like way before the cameras start rolling.
I would make it
Excited to
sounds
see each
before the
other.
camera started, man.
That was Wayno's stretching meditation.
We got to put out these bloopers every week. I ain't gonna lie to
I was stretching. That's
y'all be catching me sleeping, but y'all don't be catching the weird shit. Y'all be doing.
weird
Explain
shit,
weird.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-show rituals, you mean?
Right.
All right, y'all. You guys know Monday is our big news day. A lot of albums and songs dropped this week, and we're going to talk about Cordae's The Lost Boy on a later episode. Shout out to him. He came up last week. It was really nice to have him. We are going to talk about Chance today after this update. So, following reports that A$AP Rocky was going to be charged with assault in Sweden, Trump lost his mind. He got on Twitter, started to bash the Swedish government and demand his release, saying he was very disappointed in the prime minister for being unable to act. He said, quote, "Sweden has let our African-American community down in the United States. I watched the tapes of A$AP Rocky, and he was being followed and harassed by troublemakers. Treat Americans fairly." Now, it does look like Rocky was being followed and harassed, but for Trump to say that Sweden let down the African-American community, the irony there is not lost. He also added, give A$AP Rocky his freedom. We do so much for Sweden, but it doesn't seem to work the other way around. They should focus on their real crime problem. Of course, it's had a lot of mixed reactions from fans on artists on whether or not Trump being involved actually helped or made it worse. Here's what Cardi had to say.
But the thing is that those Swedish people, they play nice with you. They don't really fucking like you. So now that they have leverage, they be like, no. And now you're mad. You're mad because you thought Sweden fuck with you because you want to suck the country's dick that you know they are successful, whatever, are not poverty countries. You want to suck their dick, and then it's just like they just shit in your face like, oh, this guy, you want me to free him? No. And by the way, free A$AP Rocky. I just kind of feel like Trump made that shit worse.
Yo, wait till Cardi gets into politics. Yachty also shared his thoughts with TMZ.
Prime Minister
I
and
don't
everything?
know, but I don't think that's the way to go about it, the way Trump handled it.
Why not?
I don't know, but it's like if you're going to do something, then do it. You don't got to keep telling everybody, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to keep tweeting. I feel like you're doing that so black people can try.
You think so? I think so too. I think he's just trying to pander and he doesn't really mean any of it.
I don't think he's doing shit either.
What should he do?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't really give a I don't care what that do. Rocky, on the other hand, I don't know. We need to figure it out, though, because that's my big brother, you feel me?
Yeah.
So, like, it's real sad.
All right, so echo some of the sentiments we had on this show, that him getting involved just complicates things even more. Thoughts?
Yo, Trump, I don't know, yo. Like, I just don't like every time he says the African Americans, he don't speak for the African American community. Like, he's trying to win a black vote. I feel like all this shit, like, now, originally I think that he did try to do a favor for Kim and Kanye. And that shit should have been kind of done private. But, like, one thing about Trump, and I seen Mos Def say this before, he's like, when it comes to the world and the world's view of him, like, he's a joke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they look at America's presidential regime as, like a joke now. Like, oh, they let him in there? Like, they don't really give a fuck about him.
Yeah.
So it's like him going out, him acting like he's going out on a limb to support Rocky so much because he sent out 4 or 5 tweets. I don't know what he's done behind the scenes, but I think that he's just really trying to win a black vote over. You know what I mean? I don't think that anything that he's done or said is going to have any difference with the situation. I think the situation is going to be what it's going to be on their side. It's not in Rocky's favor, but I don't look at him like he's doing anything good for him, for real, for real.
Shit's crazy. Ak, as a member of the African-American community, how do you feel?
Honestly, I can't wait till Cardi gets. I hope Cardi don't get in politics. Because Cardi B literally, I was listening to what she's saying. She literally was just mad at Trump for saying the same shit she was saying. The whole point is this. And by the way, let's be clear. Our issues with Trump is not here. And we're going to, I don't think Trump did anything wrong here. If Barack Obama was in office, y'all know he not standing up for Rocky like this. Let's just keep it true. While he was in office, he ain't never stand up for Assata Shakur, many other black individuals who we felt got slighted by the law. Never that directly. And to keep it real, you are right to some extent. The international world do see us as a little bit of a joke, but the reason why they're holding Rocky is not because of Trump.
Right.
I think Trump, if anything, as futile as it may have been, He tried. Again, no matter what you might think of it, fine. He's
What
a clown.
about his approach? What if he had just made the phone calls behind the scenes, but attacking the prime minister on
He's
Twitter?
a politician.
Do you feel like that makes it
He's
worse?
a politician.
No one likes being disrespected. So if someone is attacking you on Twitter, would you be like, you're right, let's talk about this?
No. But he's a politician.
Okay.
Again, the Twitter thing, that's his approach. But every politician, they use the worst of every. Like, fuck A$AP Rocky being locked up. They use death as a way to move and forward their political agenda. Do I think that Trump is not going to use A$AP Rocky being locked up and Kanye calling him to further his like, oh, I'm trying to pander to African, like it's politics.
All right.
The thing that we have to realize, and Cardi didn't address this, but I'll address it. We should have talked about it today.
What?
The reason why A$AP Rocky's locked up, Sweden released the fucking proof. What we thought was the fight is way more serious than what was reported or seen.
Oh, you talking about the pictures of the kids, right?
There was bottles and all type of shit used, and they're releasing the info to say, we don't care about the American pressure, we don't care about the media pressure, we don't care about even the president pressure to force us to do something.
Right.
We're not gonna budge.
Right.
Matter of fact, let's show you, and you have the president like he's like regular Twitter user, free A$AP Rocky. Again, I love A$AP, but still.
So the Daily News put out the photos, right? So you see injuries on his head and his legs. That's what Ak is talking about.
Right, I seen that. I'm not disputing anything.
And by the way,
said,
that appear that might have resulted not by just a push as we saw.
Yeah.
Maybe bottles and other stuff was used.
Yeah.
And because of that, that's why they're standing on whatever they're standing to keep.
All right, I just want you to know you tweaking for even bringing up Assata Shakur and this type of situation, because Assata Shakur's situation and Obama has nothing to do with this. A$AP Rocky is not Assata Shakur. He's not going through a similar situation as Assata Shakur. That's a whole different
The reason why I'm saying that, because one of the things that, again, we don't like this nigga.
Right.
In Trump.
Right.
When Obama was in office and we could all act like we have like we just forgot, one of the main things the African American community, and we didn't have too many gripes with him, was saying that he never really addressed black issues as black issues. That's true.
Oh, it depends.
Like people, like he would institute certain shit, and people would say, how about you just do it just for us black people? I get it. Trump is pandering.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
well, I mean, there's tons of.
But at least, least we could call it out.
Yeah.
But at least he's making it specific.
The
African American community.
I mean, the thing, and I don't want to go too much on that politics side, because like me personally, I'll say it. I'll be honest. I only voted for Obama because he was black. I'm black. I ain't know shit. I didn't know too much about anything. I just know if I can identify with myself, seeing somebody in a high position, I would try to do my best to put them there. Now, what he did or didn't do for black people is a whole different story, right? Now, what I'm saying with this is that, right, if Kim or Kanye don't make no phone call about A$AP Rocky, he would not be saying nothing. I think that this is a great opportunity.
Right.
This is a great opportunity for us coming up in 2020 to win this black vote. Yeah. If we can get this guy out of here, let's do it. And that's what he's trying to do. He don't give a fuck about A$AP Rocky or none of that, right?
Agreed. But that's why I asked the question.
I think that I think that the social media shit, that does hurt him a bit more, because now, you're right. Politicians, they use death, they use all types of shit.
But sometimes with a little bit more finesse.
A little bit more finesse.
Not just being so blatantly disrespectful. I don't think when you disrespect people publicly, just like fans in Sweden watching the show were hitting you like, nah, you're tearing down our justice system. We don't feel like this about Rocky. How do you imagine the prime minister feels watching him tweet this shit? How is that helpful?
Okay, and
that's strictly pandering.
Very fair point. Very fair point. But let's be honest, it did do something in another particular case where we mentioned before, with LeAngelo Ball when he was overseas. Again, this is how the
nigga stole a pair of glasses though.
And in their culture, they wanted to hold him.
No, they did. They did. But
right?
I'm saying it's two totally different things. I'm pretty sure if LeAngelo Ball beat somebody up, or it was seen beating somebody up, as it looked like, because that's the whole thing. It's like Rocky. It looks like Rocky unleashing this wild attack on these dudes or whatever, and you got the pictures, whatever case may be. And altercation shit happen. Shit just happens. LiAngelo, this is another totally different situation, bro. Like, I'm just saying, like, for this specifically, it looked like a great PR and a great opportunity to make Trump look like he give a fuck. And I don't think that him saying anything helped at all. Like, I mean, if he could have helped Rocky get out, I'm all for it.
Just to be clear, we're not saying that he's locked up because of of Trump.
But Cardi B went as far as to say that he made it worse. I'm saying that if
I don't know if he did it.
If the whole like all us niggas we talked about on the show saying again, and by the way, you know, some people are gonna misconstrue like, yo, you're supporting Trump. No, I'm just being fair. Like, let's be fair.
I understand what you're saying.
Like, if we're all saying, damn, Rocky's getting the unfair treatment, blah blah, and regardless of what you think of the motherfucker, yes, he got niggas in cages down by the border. 100%. He's doing some shit that we don't fuck with. But if this is an issue we care about, and the nigga even goes as far as to say, I'll personally guarantee that he's not a flight risk, let him out. We can't ask for something someone else, again, they don't have any tax, you're right. They're really...
But look, another thing, that's what I'm saying.
They're Twitter nigga.
This is
like,
another,
Trump is a Twitter nigga.
But he is, but this is another thing, right? That's why I said even if he would have got him out, it would have came with such a high price for Rocky. Because I can guarantee he's not I can guarantee, you ain't never even had a conversation with this nigga. Have you spoken to his mother? I mean, and he is the president of the United States. He's one of probably the busiest people on the fucking planet. Not like he got time to be calling everybody, but I'm just saying it's like you have no connection to this person. So how can you guarantee all these things? I can do this, I can do that. So it's beyond him. That's the thing.
No, and that's why I agree with all that. Completely pandering. You think he doesn't even know what the ASAP
You just think it's unfair to say that he made it worse.
I think it's unfair to say.
I don't know if he made it worse or better.
Okay, let's just say he didn't make it better.
He
didn't make it better.
I think the fairest thing to say is that he probably thought he could pull a power move like he did before. Didn't work, and yeah, it looks embarrassing because you're the most powerful man. You're not like a bunch of rappers just speaking on you. You're the president. It shows probably what the world thinks of you.
Well, I'm not going to shut Cardi B from one day being into politics because we've seen so many of our favorite entertainers that come from the hood do so many great things. So one day, you never know.
Maybe that president actually could represent New York, perhaps?
Imagine that. Cardi B being there.
Hey, even though we laugh about it, I still won't either. I just like her to be a little bit more informed on you because I really, like, after seeing all those things they release in the police report, I'm like, that's why they're probably, maybe there's probably some racism in there because, you know, racism is like really tied in so many, like, not only cultures, but just countries, like justice systems and just all types of systems, period. So there's probably racism involved, but when you see some of the additional evidence, you're like, maybe I should just kind of chill for a second to figure out what was going on.
Right, so the trial is starting soon, and to be fair, so we got the photos of his injuries, but then they also said that like he's had an issue with drugs before, like he had a prior conviction for painkillers, so we're getting info from both sides. So let's see, trial starts soon, hopefully some good news for Rocky.
Oh, and by the way, by the Cardi B thing, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he became governor of Cali. Cardi B can run New York.
See?
I'm sorry. Like, trust me, she's more than qualified.
The Terminator was the governor.
Yeah, she's more than qualified.
More than qualified. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, guys. So one of the most anticipated album releases of the year was Chance the Rapper's project, his official debut album. It's called The Big Day. That dropped on Friday. So 22 tracks, but including 3 skits. It doesn't directly credit any of the guest features, but there were some contributions from Nicki Minaj, Gucci, DaBaby, Lil Durk, Megan Thee Stallion, Taylor Bennett, and more. Production by Timbaland, Pierre Bourne, Murda Beats, Trap Money Benny, and members of his group, The Social Experiment, plus John Witherspoon and Keith David are on those skits. So this was a follow-up to his 2016 mixtape coloring book, and if you're a huge Chance fan, you know he had a series of amazing mixtapes prior to that as well. So our fan question, we're gonna get into sort of a track by track. Do you think Chance's debut album met your expectations? Does this album put him at the top of today's rappers? Who'd like to go first? First impressions of this album.
I'm long-winded, like I'm always. I have a lot to say.
Okay.
Should you let Wayno go first?
I'm here for it.
Oh, you let me. I can get it off?
If we can interject, absolutely.
Of course, you can interject anytime. All right. So, and I had to take notes on this motherfucker.
All right.
Okay, I see. This is the first
No,
time he wrote notes.
I had to talk to the producers before. Matter of fact, I was starting to write, and I'm like, my handwriting is bad.
journalistic
I had to
act.
put my phone. Hey, listen.
Okay.
There was a few glaring things that off top that I noticed, right? Coloring Book, 14 tracks. This particular album, 22 tracks. There's a lot of features. Very feature, like laden, but you know what? You wouldn't realize it if you just saw the track list, as we all saw the track list like last week when he put it up, but he didn't mention features.
Right.
But when you listen to the album, it feels like features. Now, again, just putting all this in context, debut album, first album also for sale. I'm looking at it like he may also, again, when you put out an album for free, you got to deal with Apple. You ain't got to worry about the sales. Like, hey, listen, I'm progressive with it. Now this is kind of a little bit more traditional. So I thought he was going for the sales approach. I'm like 22 albums, and by the way, even though last week I mentioned I love Chris Brown's Indigo album, 32 tracks, I'm not too much of a big fan, and we both agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Not too much of a big fan on a long track. So when I saw this, I'm like, debut album, could Chance hold it down? And honestly, overall, felt it was too long. This is overall, and we could go track by track in a minute, but felt it was too long, but I don't think it was bad. I saw people dragging on social media like, yo, this was like really horrible. But I think, honestly, most of it is for the content, because just like how I believe, and I remember I said to Wayno one time, and even I don't know if he was startled by it, but it was when we were talking about Logic. Logic, I think he's a really good rapper.
Right.
But some of the shitty raps, I was like, come on, bro. You don't want to.
You went there on
No,
Chance?
I got to do it.
Okay. But in what context, though?
The theme of the album.
It's like love, family, marriage.
Love,
Right.
family,
Got married
marriage,
recently.
turn the other cheek, praise God. Really.
Right.
And like sometimes it sounds like a PBS special, another time it sounds like a little praise and worship songs.
Okay.
It's kind of within that realm. And unfortunately, hip hop don't really like gravitate towards it. Like we like the songs about exploiting women, glorifying sex, money, murder. Like,
And he actually says that. He actually says that on the album too, right?
Honest.
But
like, there's no meat
depending on
minutes.
who it's coming from as well.
Okay, and depending on what quantity.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Felt like it was a little bit much. Like, hey, listen, I'm happy, I'm in a family. It felt like a little bit much, honestly. But judging just straight rapping, and again, before I go to track by track, I'm gonna give you that you could give your overview.
All right.
I thought the rapping wasn't bad, but I feel like together as an album, as a debut project, it was underwhelming. I actually like Coloring Book better.
Okay.
And that's my overview of it, and I would like to hear what you have.
Yeah, Wayno, do you
Okay.
have a different perspective
do.
as a family man?
I do. Well, I don't have a perspective on his music being a family man, none of that. Like, first listening, I'm like, after like, by the time I got to maybe the 8th track, I was like, oh, this nigga's in love. You know what I mean? Like, that's the first thing I was like, oh, he's in love. Like, he's really in love. Nobody could stop this. Like, for real, like, the side nigga gonna do this, like that record.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
All right.
We're gonna talk
All right.
about it.
So, all right, going into it, I'm just always confused as to how people push out these projects because it's debut album. I done heard 3 like full-length projects from you. I mean, it's like the 3rd one I ever heard, from Acid Rap to Coloring Book to this. I'm like, debut, but all right, cool, you can have that. Overall, like, when I first saw the track list, I was kind of like, damn, I gotta listen to 22 songs. Not got to, but I'm like, damn, this nigga put out 22 songs. But as I started getting into it, and then when you start getting from the skits to the songs, from the skits to the songs, I kind of like the way it flowed. And I really feel like I don't want to directly compare them, but some records give me like Late Registration. That's my favorite Kanye album, Late Registration. So Late Registration, as far as like beats and progressions and how this shit is going. Overall, I wasn't overwhelmed by it. I thought that he put out a really, really good album. It's a few songs that I'm like, come on, my nigga. Like, it sounds like, I don't know if it's Chicago house music. You know what I mean? But he has a few songs on there that sounds like house music. That
I like
kinda,
the joint with Shawn Mendes. That
Bro,
was kind of
I like the
like
joint with him
some
and his
shit you
brother.
in an aerobics class.
Yeah,
right?
I like the shit with him and his brother. I like the joint with him and Nicki, the shit with him and the baby. Like, it overall, to me, I enjoyed the album more than I thought I would because of the length of the album.
So so he's calling it his official debut album, like you said, first time he's officially selling a project. But if for a second we took that out of the equation, right? All this build up was for the debut and we're just looking at it like a continuation of, let's take 10 Day out of the equation, let's say Acid Rap, Coloring Book. This is his third album. Would you feel differently about it or same?
So, again, I wanted to listen to this project, and it's and that's why it's important that we discuss like at least the overview and how you felt before you listen to it, because like that may tell people where your standards are. Also, I went into this thinking where people were saying, hey, listen, we have the Drakes, we have the Coles, we have the Kendricks, but then there's this like new wave coming in. It's led by Chance. So I really had high expectations.
You think it's led by Chance?
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people say that. Like, hey, Chance is like the person who's gonna be leading that among the newer rappers. Okay. Again, like remember when most famously, I know Drake said it, but I think Cole even said it. I think even Kendrick like they were a class almost.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
right?
classes.
Like after that, it was like, what's the next class? And I understand freshman list and everything, but it was like, what's the next class? And we were looking for someone else to like kind of, and we've had debates even on the show about maybe Chance could be the one to like, maybe not directly like compete with Drake, but like be his version for this generation or another generation. Yeah. That's because people don't realize Drake is 32. Yeah. You get me? And I look at, I had high expectations for him. Then this was his debut, and I know you said like it's projects, but I had high expectations.
But so this the only thing I don't, because it's like everything is for sale. Like I wish people would stop using these verbiage or these tricks. My nigga, you had that Problems record, all you went platinum, all of that. Like everything is on
so
the DSPs.
I'm saying if you take the verbiage out of it, does it change anything? Because of course, after all that build up and you're saying it's my debut, the expectations are different.
It's
right?
really good. I feel like this album is really good. It wasn't underwhelming, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the biggest Chance the Rapper fan. I'm not. Acid Rap, I like Acid Rap more than I like Coloring Book. But this was good. Like this is really good. Like I didn't listen to this and was like, oh man, here go one of these positive rapping niggas. I want to hear some street shit. I really was able to put myself in the zone to understand exactly where he was at, to understand how happy this nigga is, to understand like what he's going through, because he talks about a lot of what he's going through that led him to his happiness. Right. So I like it.
Compared to the rest of his discography, so again, Acid Rap and Coloring Book, how did you receive it?
Well, I mean, it's only been out for 2 days, 3 days really. So like, and where I put it next to them, I put like Acid Rap. I just like that time. Like I like that time. He was a new guy. Like it's certain shit on there that I loved. I got to give myself some more time to really fuck with this. Like I said, Coloring Book, I didn't really dig into like that. And then he got quiet for so long. But this, I think I wanted to know before I seen the fan question on the rundown, I was like, I want to know where we rank this nigga for real. Like, it's a conversation that needs to be had, because I feel like he can rap good enough. Like, he can rap good enough. It's just that I think what will probably not hold him back, but people are going to hold him to him being so positive.
He could rap, but I think this album kind of told me maybe he's not that guy. And
But then are you discounting the previous two projects?
No, I'm not. Like, I was looking for this shit to land and send shockwaves like, yo, damn. Like again, I know it's 22 tracks, but like the debut album, I know you keep saying it's projects, but it still means something to me. Like again, Coloring Book dropped like 2-3 years ago.
What? So
and then remember, I was super hyped. Go back, check the record.
Yeah.
He dropped the four songs. I'm like, oh shit, let's get it.
Right.
He had a feature. He had the song with Corday. Oh shit, I'm ready. And I was expecting him to deliver a little bit on a higher level.
So was you expecting him to deliver like more mainstream appealed hit records, like or bombs, like, or you just think overall album he didn't? Because I feel like
honestly, so and I think this kind of goes into like even judging it track by track a little bit, right?
Okay.
And I do have some short notes I'll get into in a second, but I felt it was too long.
Okay.
I felt it was too long. Like, you know, by the way, I love the skits by, you know, was it John Witherspoon?
Yeah.
You know? Come on, man. How could you not, right? I love it. I love those transitions. But I felt it was too long. And for whatever reason, I felt like it was longer because it was the album. And the album that's now for sale after you've dropped on SoundCloud and people believe, okay, this is the guy, you now have these expectations that you put out a long album for, like we see a lot of rappers do.
So condensing this would have made a huge difference for
I mean,
you
but
in
it's
terms
hard,
of how you received
but
it?
it's 3 skits on there. There's 3 skits. It's still, I mean, it's been long albums. People have been dropping long albums. Travis Scott's album was a long album. Big Crit's
Not all of them
album.
are good.
Not all of them are good. I'm just saying.
And not all of them we've agreed that, hey, they wouldn't have been better if they were shorter. Some we've agreed like
some of them, but I think that he hit his mark with it. I think that he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Now, I mean, what it will do in totality it remains to be seen because we only not even a week in. But I think that this album is good enough to satisfy his fan base and to get him new people that never was fucking with him before.
Okay, so I'll go through and give a little quick rundown of how I was digesting. I listened to these songs a lot of times. Well, the ones I could tolerate to keep it true. But like, you know, even the intro, like, I was disappointed about the intro. You judge.
Take a lot to make you happy, Akademiks.
No, come on, man. Like when you again, I'm looking at him as a prodigy. Okay, there was a time, you know, he was in that class of the dudes who could rap, and there was something that really just stuck him apart beyond like the Vic Mensas and everybody else. And when I'm looking at a debut album, yeah, that intro, that shit gotta be fire. And to keep it real, it felt like we're at Sunday school. Like it was, I'm like, okay, this I kind of get it. But like it's just kind of like, all right, we're happy, we're singing.
Come on, but I mean, this is what we expecting from a Chance though. Like it's not like we expecting something from somebody who's not. He didn't do anything that I didn't expect him to do. Okay. If you get what I'm saying, like he didn't do anything that I'm like, oh, this nigga's he's bugging the fuck out. The intro is exactly what I expect him to do. Like everything he did was kind of what I expected him to do. Of course, the only thing I say is long-winded is, in your comparison to him and Logic, is like how Logic will say, you know, I want to be this, but I don't want to do that because it is like I felt like he did that same thing a little bit too much. But other than that, I think it's a good album.
Again, don't let my critique get lost in making anyone feel like I'm saying it's trash.
All right.
I just feel it's a little bit underwhelming in terms of what I expected.
What'd you expect, like Ultra Light Beam level?
I expected that.
That's not his song, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I expected that, but I expected even more. Like, this is your debut, Chance. Like, track 2, which is the Do You Remember joint with, I don't even know this gentleman's name, Benjamin Gibbard.
Yeah.
I love that Chance. Love it. If you remember those 4 songs that came out, he kind of did that a lot where, you know, I like little Channel from 79. I like that.
Yeah.
I think he's great at storytelling. Great at storytelling. That's one of those tracks. I enjoyed that. Track 3, that fucked me up. I have to be honest. The anti-side nigga side chick track, that fucked me up. Because
because he's the leader of the side nigga, City Boy Summer.
Listen,
it was good.
It fucked me up a little bit. I get what he was saying. And by the way, you know, again, I'm not too big into like caring what like social media, like especially Twitter things, because they do a lot of groupthink there. But people were killing this album. It's like, yo, damn.
The meme pages was harsh.
They were killing it. And again, you know, this song is like the prototypical song where it's like, let's just kind of go against like all the things that like culturally and societally seems like people have accepted.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Because you know him, he hates nice for what? Because he feels like it's pandering. So did you feel like this was pandering to a certain group of people?
This was pandering. Okay, so you already know what's going on.
I wanted to know if you thought. I mean, that song kind of threw me off. That song did throw me off a bit.
And I was like, damn, Chan. But to be honest, here's the thing.
Right.
The Nice for What song is a little bit different than this because at least for Drake, I was like, Drake, you know what to tell the chicks. With Chance, I'm like, Chance, this is you. I actually just thought those. So I mean, the panders, but like it's him.
All right, can we go through that? Because we got we got other stuff that I want to get to. So can we get to the highlights of it? because I don't want to state.
What were your standout tracks? Yeah.
Handsome
So
by
you liked,
Megan Thee
you
Stallion.
remember.
I
Okay.
fuck with that heavy.
I like the feature with the baby.
Yeah, that joint was hard. Baby
like-
verse on there was hard too.
I like that. I like the feature with Megan Thee Stallion. I really like the song with him and Gucci. And by the way, I know it sounds a little bit house-ish.
Yeah.
But the sample, I fuck with Chance for them samples. I don't know if he get him cleared. He's claiming independent still. But he get him
Nigga,
cleared.
man. I mean, he independent don't mean you ain't got money to get your shit done. You know what I mean? Like, you got money to get your shit done.
But the joint where he puts Shawn Mendes on the track,
Yeah.
I like that too.
You know, it's one of my favorite joints, Slide Around with Dirk and Nicki.
Okay.
That joint is hard. The joint with Dirk and Nicki. Nicki verse on there was hard as well.
The what's the name of that joint? It sounded like fucking what was it? It sounded like the Living Single gospel.
I know what you're
version.
talking about. Yeah.
That joint, like I wasn't high off it, but I was listening to it. And again, you got to realize, you know, to anyone who's listening, you might hear me do a review of an album. Like the way how you consume an album depends on your mood, depends on what
absolutely.
you think. So like again, I'm listening to him. I got this face on like.
I ain't gonna like this shit.
Really Chance. And you know, it's a cool record, you know,
Yeah.
like again, sometimes you get drowned out in the fact that he is what he is and he's not frauding where he's at in his life, that you may criticize him like it's too positive, but honestly that's where he's at in his life. Some of the joints I felt like the features, and this is what I didn't like. I think
This is the deepest album dive of
That
the,
he's done
of
in
the
a
year.
long
Yeah.
time. Right.
Hold on.
I can't
Okay,
wait to see what he
alright.
thinks about Corday shit.
I mean, track 5 sounded like a Michelle Obama like pep rally song. The joint where it said "Turn the other cheek, we go high. When y'all niggas go low." Come on, now, that's some Michelle Obama shit. Come on, bro.
He's from Chicago. His pops is a politician. All that.
100%. Oh yeah, and that particular song, I love the rapping at the end, and that's why I felt is a little bit drowned out here. Like some of the songs, you know, he went out of his way to be a little bit diverse in some of the songs we were making. You know, some of them drew inspiration from the 90s. He brought some things with like different genres, house. But like what's kind of lost sometimes, or like you'll hear it on the end of the song, is him rapping. And again, if you listen to acid rap, that will you probably yearn to hear a little bit more. So it was a little bit underwhelming. It's definitely not trash. And you know, like of course, as a debut album, I rate it 3.8 out of 5.
3.8. Ooh, you're harsh.
Okay, Ak. Curious to see, if this changes for you later.
Oh, wait till we get to Coordination.
And then,
I got a breakdown.
all right, this
gotta
guy
break
did his
down.
homework. All right, stay
Right.
tuned. That's coming up on another episode. Let's see what the album and see how you feel in a few more weeks. What else happened this weekend? Oh, Vic Mensa and Chris Brown and Jake. So Vic released the visuals for a song called 3 Years Sober. Pretty interesting video. He's wearing a mascara, blonde wig, Confederate flag dress. He's playing tug of war over birth control with a look-alike of Vice President Mike Pence. So he told CNN, quote, "I wanted to wear this Confederate flag dress as a middle finger to a symbol of racism." This one made a lot of noise on social media this weekend. How'd you guys feel about it? Big statement?
Let me go first because I know I got a lot of shit to say. So when I seen this, right?
Y'all took a picture together. Come on now.
Well, yeah, we did take a picture together. We was there for a positive cause, right? Our picture had nothing to do with this, right? But when I seen this, it made me think of movie Silence of the Lambs, the Buffalo Bill scene, right? When this dude he's putting the dress on. You seen Silence of the Lambs before?
Maybe.
All right, well, it's just he's a serial killer and he's.
I know the
putting on
concept though, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I understand that you're trying to be artistic, but you know how some people try to sound so smart that they end up sounding dumb.
Right.
I felt like it was like he tried to go so hard to be artistic and to make a point or a political statement that it just didn't land, because when I looked at the views it didn't reflect on the vid. I mean on everything that he did. Now I felt like it's a lot of different ways he could have probably done this or done it with a different record. It didn't connect for me. You know what I mean? Like after seeing this, I didn't say, oh man, this nigga wearing dresses and I felt like he was trying to make a statement and it just like, you doing too much.
It fell flat for you?
Yeah, you're doing too much. You
All
know what
right,
I'm saying? You're doing too much.
Go ahead, surprise me.
Now, honestly, this continues the theme of everything I've been saying about Vic Mensa. I felt he's been confused for the last few years. And honestly, like a lot of artists, their confusion creatively or artistically goes into other things, usually turns to frustration. Like again, if you listen to Vic Mensa from the Internet Tapes and you see the music he's making
Oh,
now.
you heard that project?
Of course.
I really like Internet Tape.
Come on, now, I had to listen to some good of his, and you know, and just seeing, like, the particular song is not hip hop. Let's be very clear.
Yeah, what is the
Right?
group's called 93 Punks now.
And I don't know if this is necessarily him. Like the dress shit, it's a little hilarious, but I get it on an artistic level. Like if we give Thug a pass, like we can't all the way kill him, even though you're still gonna get the jokes off, right? But I look at him on a creative side, and I'm like, what is he trying to do? And is he trying to still find himself? And I don't know how long he's been at it. Like I don't know how long his career is span, but he's still trying to find himself. Still trying to find himself. I think he's been setting this up, whether it was he wore mascara before when he had like the guitar and like a couple of like pictures that circulate the internet a lot. And people saw a lot of things that could have shown that not only maybe he would have made this video, but he would kind of delve more into his music. You get me? So I look at him on a creative level, and honestly, I pray for him. I hope he finds himself. Because if you listen to his interviews and everything, I know there's a lot of political speech, and I do listen, despite whatever petty issues I have with him, I still commend him for like the good, dope things that he's trying to get involved with for his community and the community outreach stuff. I always say good for him for that. But I do know there is a creative aspect of it that he hasn't settled and found his home at.
Okay.
And if it's kind of doing rock, go ahead, but own it. And this might be part of owning it. So I can't be all the way judging him if I feel like he's been trying to find himself, and maybe he did.
Yeah.
No, I feel like that's a reasonable assessment though, because if you listen to Internet Tape to now, he took like a very sharp left turn. It wasn't like an evolution. It was just like a left turn.
Like my favorite Vic Mensa song is Orange Soda. Me and Roger was talking about this morning,
Yeah.
and like from that to now, it's like a lot has changed. I just feel like he tried to, like he had a dart and he tried to hit the bullseye immediately. Like he didn't work his way up. He just went for the bullseye and missed on this. You know, I just feel like he totally missed.
All right, on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, Chris Brown.
Be grown up. See, I could have won. Come on, I could have.
You did well.
Chris Brown dropped the video for No Guidance featuring Drake. No big statements here. They're just having fun. 9 minutes long. There's a little dance off. Of course, Breezy wins this one. Ak, we know how much you love these two gentlemen.
How you feel about this?
Video of the year. Loved it. I loved it. Okay. I need to see a Chris Brown tour, a movie, album or EP.
Chris Brown or Chris Brown and Drake?
Chris Brown and Drake, of course.
Okay.
Chris Brown and Drake.
Chris Brown, you said a tour?
I want to see a tour. I want to see a movie. Like
a musical movie?
It played like a movie.
Okay.
It played like a movie. And I get it. Like, you know, a lot of the videos we kind of say, hey, that's a possible video of the year that has a really strong message behind it. And,
Right.
You know,
It just was fun.
Yeah, it was just fun. And by the way, it reminds me like some of the people who create those fun videos. Like, you know, I'll throw Sean into it. You know, like Sean had a couple during his last album cycle, but also Chris Brown has been really into that in terms of like creating fun videos. Like I think Play No Games had Chris Brown and Sean on it, but like it reminded me of that to see both of those guys kind of acting, also kind of, you know, addressing the elephant in the room. I really liked it.
No,
I really liked it.
It was dope. In terms of like videos of the year, I think like that video is one of my favorites. That and Old Town Road. I really like the Old Town Road video. That video was really dope. But yeah, it was just fun. Like I miss, you know what I do miss with instances like this? Remember before we used to get like the making of the video, and then they would do the big ass countdown on BT, and you have to stay up to like 9:30 to watch that shit. But it felt like that, but in the video form. Like I seen 9 minutes, I'm like, damn, this video is 9 minutes. It didn't even feel like that. You know what I mean, but it was a very dope video. It was a very dope video.
All right, so we're happy that Chris Brown and Drake made up, and also that Drake and Meek Mill made up, so that him and Ross are good now, because Ross dropped another single called Gold Roses. So this is the third single from Port of Miami 2. Drake is obviously on it. Did you guys like this one?
Yes, I fuck with this super heavy. And I'm not
Super heavy.
Super heavy. I fuck with this super heavy. And I ain't gonna lie, Money on the Grave is starting to grow on me slightly. But I fuck with this joint. Like Ross, I don't want to hear nothing else. Just drop the album. Like I don't want to hear nothing else.
Port of Miami 2, August 9th.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know, I always compare songs when I see like two artists trade songs, essentially, right? So you have Money on the Grave, and you got this type of song. And I look at it and I'm like, you could tell this song is like Ross's direction. Even though Drake owns a lot of real estate on the song, like, this feels like Ross. It feels like a album joint for Ross. And honestly, like, it's a really good song. Like, the Money on the Grave shit was just shit talking, shit, like, just popping and shit. This shit I really like, and I'm gonna credit Ross for it. I don't know or have any other additional information that says it was his song he brought to Drake, but it felt like it was his direction because it felt like his tone. Really like it, actually.
All right, so last week we also heard some rumors that Ross got Pusha, T, and Wayne on the same track, and then that information was deleted. Apparently, it was really just a leak, but he's confirmed it to Baller Alert. He said they are on the same track, and he said he actually did it without either one of them knowing.
You know, what I did was I put together a record without either one of them knowing, because I feel like, you know, we will put this behind us one day. The real question is the time now. And it may not be the right time for that. We'll have to see August 9th, Port of Miami.
I hear you.
He might be the only person who could pull this off. So a fan said, shouldn't Wayne or Pusha have a say on the collab track Ross put them on together? And can they actually put a stop to the record if they wanted to? But that aside,
Well,
thoughts that they're on the same song.
I mean, I can't wait to hear it. But this has been done slightly before. I mean, Young Buck put Ludacris and T.I. on Stomp, and they both dissed each other on the song, like kind of through like subliminal shots, but I don't think even one of them knew that they was gonna be on the song. And then later, I think they took Ludacris off the song and put or T.I. They took one of them off and put Game on the song. But yeah, I don't think you don't really have a say so on who you go on the song with. I mean, of course, like it could be a call made like, yo, but I don't think it's that deep either. Like I don't think it's that deep.
For these two?
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't think that Pusha nor Wayne is gonna call and be like, yo, because the thing about Ross is he's at a point in his career, not even at a point in his career, he's solidified. You ain't gonna tell him what to do with his music. And I think he has enough respect and love from those two parties for it to happen. But I don't think that they're gonna be chilling with each other now, but I think that, you know, it's dope to hear them on a song, which we probably will never hear unless some shit like this happens.
Well, I mean, I actually disagree, at least with the first part. I definitely think, you know, yeah, if I'm going to be on a song with someone, like, I'm usually going to ask these questions before, like, me and my label clears my verse to be on your song. Who's going to be on it? And unless you just straight up lie, right? So it's just me and you, and then you throw somebody else on it.
They don't always get to that. Sometimes it's just like, yo, I need a verse.
Does it matter the caliber of artist though, like a Pusha and Wayne level, especially with something
that's
that
what
runs
I'm saying.
deep?
I think this only happens because of Ross's relationship with Wayne, and we saw how Ross rode out for Wayne when it came to the Birdman.
Absolutely.
Right.
And whether, you know, like some people said it looked bad on him because Wayne, of course, and Birdman, they kind of got back cool a little bit. And people were like, damn, Ross, you kind of like, you jumped out of pocket, even though he was really defending a friend. I think that's why this happens. I don't know if Ross gets Drake and Push on a song.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. That's not like, yo, Drake, I need a verse, and then it pops up with Push on the feature.
Yeah, that would definitely
like,
stop their relationship for the next couple years.
Yeah, that's exactly. So
Right.
I think Ross knew what he was doing, where he had enough favor with both of them that he could make this happen. But I do think he's probably still very sensitive, you know, where like, I don't know how that plays, and I would love to be a fly in the room to hear that conversation among each party, because I'm pretty sure he's not blindsiding them, like completely, right? I know he said, oh, he just kind of like asked each other for a verse or whatever, but like hearing the final track before it gets approved for the project, you're not just not letting the person know if the other person's probably dissing them or some shit.
Right.
So I would like to see how that went, but Ross is someone who has been an advocate of bringing people together in the last couple of years. And based on how he goes hard for his own artists and those two, he's got to do this.
I mean, hopefully this is a step towards mending that relationship. Maybe they'll choose to get on the same song together soon. We'll see.
Do we want him to mend it that quick? Don't we want like a Ross
That quick?
battle?
This has been a
not
long
Ross,
time.
10 years.
Quick.
Wayne Push him out.
No.
Nah.
Come on, man.
I
Somebody
don't
got to pick it up.
It's not gonna happen.
That wasn't a good look, bro.
Nah, I don't want Wayne to battle anyone.
Yeah, Wayne is not bad on nobody.
He's good. Solidified, like you said. Now we gotta go. We are out of time, guys. But we.
Plus, that nigga said, fuck Pusha T and anybody who
I know that was an infamous tweet, but like I said, we want it to be over now. Why would Wayne be battling anyone at this
Wayne
point in
ain't,
his career?
Wayne never.
He just deserves to be
who
happy
even
and
like,
chill.
Yeah, he ain't better than nobody.
Stop with the drama academics. Like I said,
Wayno probably put that together. Blame Wayno.
we gotta go.
Wayno's cool with me.
We gotta
Meek signing Ross.
go.
He's mad cool eating
had
that
nothing.
Philippe Chow's with Pusha.
I had no.
This guy
He did
knows
it.
one restaurant. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.